So we're on
Awesome.
course. Vanessa,
Hey, how are you?
thank you for being on the show. Have you ever heard that version?
I haven't.
Bueno, you know that song La Maria, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, that was redone a long time ago. That version, I love it because it's got a little reggaeton and it's our song and it's pretty dope. And
Cool.
but anyways, thank you for being on the show. It's an
Of
honor to
course.
have you, not only because you're funny
Yeah.
and you're a Latina, y
Yes.
también nicaragüense. You know,
Yes. That's
you're probably
right.
you're probably wondering like, why is this Chinese guy, rocking a Nicaraguan hat? Pero ni modo.
No.
Anyways, so for our viewers, talk to us a little bit about, how you got into what you do and what you currently do. Let's start off with that.
Well, I'm a TikTok content creator. I make, sketches and comedic sketches for social media, covering like, different things that we go through, like as Latino people, as people from Nicaragua. So, I started making these sketches actually when, in the beginning of the pandemic, around last March. So, you know,
What made you do in the beginning of the pandemic?
honestly, I was working at a show because I have a journalism degree and I was working in the field. Um, and my show got canceled. So I was like, oh my goodness, what is happening? I lost my job in the beginning of all of this. And throughout some time, I've had been making content online, but more like beauty style, makeup tutorials, and things like that. Um, and then in the beginning of the pandemic, when I lost my job and everything, my boyfriend was like, why don't you try TikTok? Like, it's a new thing. And I was like, okay, let's see what it's about. I didn't really know anything about it. But one of my videos went viral and I started to develop more characters and sketches and it all blew up since then.
Okay, so let's talk about that. I like how you were faced with adversity with the pandemic and
Yeah.
you tapped into leveraging social media
Mm-hmm.
because, I want to have all our guests are to have something to offer our audience. It's not just to make them laugh. I like showcasing the beautiful success in la gente nosotros.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we have business owners. I want more business owners. I want more business owners profiting and being profitable. Y que
Yeah.
sean buena gente, que no sean come mierda. So that's what we do it. So what do you think has been the key to your success
Ooh.
since you recently started, which is good to hear. So what do
Yeah.
you think you credit your success to?
I think it's just staying true to myself. I feel like before making all of these sketches, I kind of was, I don't even know how to explain it. Not putting up a front. I wasn't putting up a front because I was still being myself, but I wasn't being 100% myself. I was still not showing my personality on camera, and I wasn't really telling my story to the world through these sketches, through this new form. And then in when I started making these videos, I decided to treat it completely different than any other platform I had, and I was just like, I'm gonna just have fun. I'm gonna be 100% myself and see what happens. And that is what stuck because people relate to it, and I feel like people can pueden sentir cuando es algo real when you're being yourself, so
Yeah, people could definitely see authenticity.
right.
I would like to say that now that knowing your journalist background, it shows in your writing. It shows the research, it shows the delivery, and it shows the authenticity of quien sos vos. But
Hmm.
for our viewers that don't have the journalist background, how do they find their authenticity? Dame ese consejo.
Honestly, I think it's just talking to the camera or making content that you would like, and making content that resonates to people that have like a shared experience. And something that really caught my eye was, I've always been super proud of where I'm from, of Nicaragua, of my family, but I never see content creators that are Nicaraguenses or that are sharing, their pride. So I was like, we need to change that. So
Okay, so if it weren't for the pandemic, people like you and I
mhm,
wouldn't be able to connect as Nica, and
right.
there's also shout out to the other Nicaraguan platforms, Hella Nica growing up,
Yeah.
Nicaragua Ting, y of course Jorge Pinodero. Um,
Hmm.
the Cubans have done a good job of creating skits. Uh,
Hmm.
the Dominicans have done a great job. I want Nicaraguenses to be on that way. So we
Right.
have to support you. We have to support the other people in the industry. para que la gente vea la diferencia, para que la gente conozca que es Nicaragua. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You see Presidente Beer now having their own shoes because of A-Rod with a Dominican flag. You
Mhm.
had Nike Air Force Ones, again with the Dominican flag. We have to do it. And I think that's an opportunity by the Nicaraguans, to folks like you and I, and the ones that we just mentioned, to keep on doing our stuff. Pero
Right.
en diferentes categorías. Like, I love the fact that you're a journalist. I didn't know that you have that background, because tell me why you went into journalism. Let's go into that.
Honestly, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I have always loved being in front of the camera, and I used to do theater. I've been singing since I was like a little kid. Um, and when I got into college, I was like, oh, I don't know if I should pursue theater. This might not be, I was just scared. I was scared, and I really like journalism, and I really like, covering social issues and things like that. So I saw it as like a combination of theater and also things that I can make a change in. But my love has always been for theater. And I think that because I lost my job in news and everything, I kind of embraced that.
And
And
it forced you to do what fulfills you. And
right.
it forces you that what you want to be fulfilled with is impactful.
Hmm.
I think I like that because, again, as a journalist, you have a different kind of mindset. You like social handling, exposing social issues, but you're
Right.
also the comedic part. So
Right.
you can, I mean, that's a triple threat, because you have a brain and
Correct.
you have the social, injustice kind of mindset, and then you have the comedic. I love that. And so let's talk about, what do you see people doing wrong that they can improve on their social media kind of branding? Give us one tip. You gave us what you're good at, which is authenticity. What are
Mhm.
you seeing wrong that we can provide a solution for our viewers para que
Yeah.
se pongan las pilas?
Maybe quality. I feel like some people think that social media is easy, and social media is a job. Since the pandemic hit, I've been treating it as a job, and I, thanks to to my career and making content on my own before, I had the resources to know what it is to be like, have good lighting, to have a good camera, to edit. I learned all of those things on my own, but I feel like we have the resources. Like, I learned how to edit on YouTube. Like, we have the resources to do that. And sometimes we think social media is just a quick picture, a quick video. And what makes me stand out, I feel, is that I deliver a product that is quality. I edit it. I take time to do the colors in the video so everything looks nice. I write scripts. I feel like people need to realize that it is important to bring quality to social media.
Not only is it important to social media because it's your brand,
Exactly.
it's one self's brand. So why not invest? When people say they don't have time for social media, then they've already lost the game. You might as
Right.
well stick to your 8 to 5, because no hacer nada.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the stereotypes that you did for the Nicaraguan one that I saw, that I think was amazing. That's why I saw it on Helenica. I was like, what? It's funny. It was just more funny than stereotypical. So tell me how that one came about.
You mean the mom,
Uh,
the things Nicaraguan moms say? Yeah, I feel like that one's funny because my mom is always like, la gente va a pensar que yo te gritaba así, but because she was very calm and she never yelled at me, nunca me dio nada, o sea, nunca me golpeó ni nada.
yeah.
But I have aunts, that are dramatic and that are like that. And every time I would go visit my family in Nicaragua, I see women that are like that. So I got inspiration from those experiences, seeing my tia. Some of them are very dramatic, and that's how I came up with that. And also, I saw a lot of videos that are like, things Venezuelans say, things Cubans say, things Dominicans say.
Yeah,
There's
I'm telling you.
never things Nicaraguans say. So I'm like,
That's why I love it. I told you earlier, the Cubans done a good job, the Dominicans done a good job, the Venezuelan woman did a good job on Venezuelan accents. So I
mhm,
want you to continue that. Once in a while, like you say, be authentic, don't force it. You
right.
so I love that. So if you can fast forward 2 years, what do you see yourself doing?
Honestly, this has opened a door for me that I never thought I could have, because once I got into college, unfortunately I gave up on that dream of, being an actress and being in theater and all of that. But I feel like with the power of social media and having my talent out there, hopefully I can, be in productions and films in the future. So that's my goal.
It's never too late, but that joven.
Hmm.
It's never too late. Look at Broadway's closed for another year, so I have friends in Broadway. Um, right now, content creation is so king. Networks are streaming. A lot of new networks are trying to stream. So you're
Yep.
in the right circle. Hablar los dos, dominar los dos idiomas. Te miras bien, and you're funny. Y tenés una, you have a brain. You have a journalism. So let's talk a little about what you said. You have a passion for social injustice issues and solutions.
Yeah.
How did that start? Let's talk about that.
Oof. Why?
Hey, listen, this is the best podcast you're gonna be on, bro.
Honestly, honestly, I that happened when, you know, realizing everything my mom went. My mom is a single mom and raised me by herself. She came to the US, not because she needed to come economically, but because of all the issues we have in Nicaragua. So
when did she come? In the 80s?
she came in the 90s.
Oh, okay, 90s. So yeah, reoccurring. So we came in the 80s.
Mhm.
Where's your mom from? Where are you guys from?
Chinandega.
Chinandega. Okay, we're from Rivas. So anyway,
Mhm.
so she comes. So you saw some of the challenges she had.
I saw challenges she had.
What were some
Um,
of
you
the
know,
challenges?
I saw the challenges, economically, of course, because she is a single mom, and when I would go back home, I would see a lot of economic challenges within people in my community. Because thank God, my family in Nicaragua is doing well and everything, but I saw the poverty that you see just in the streets. And honestly, I I lived 5 years in Nicaragua when I was from a baby to 5 years old. And then I came back. But when I went back for like summer, I would always go every summer. I would really get impacted by everything that I would see, people begging in the streets, kids en el basurero. And, you know, it's really impactful for someone who's raised in the US to see that because you're not used to it. And you're like, this is not fair. This is like, why is this happening?
And it humbles us,
Yes.
but it also creates anger on how
Mhm.
a country cannot care about its people, and
Exactly.
especially our country.
And I have so much love for Nicaragua, and it just makes me really sad. Like it makes me really sad. And it's something I'll never forget is when I was a kid and we were walking down the street and in Nicaragua, and I was with my aunt, and I see a blind man. He was like 80 years old, and he was a blind man begging for money. And my aunt's like, dale aquí el dinero, pero dáselo en la mano porque él no puede ver. And that just, like, I don't know, that broke my heart. And I was like, oh my God, that's somebody's grandparents.
Yeah,
That's somebody's mom, that's somebody's dad. Why isn't there someone, like a shelter or something? It's not fair. And then you come here to Miami and it's like a different world. So,
yeah, and it makes us realize how fortunate we are. But whenever we have the opportunity to give back, shed some light through your journalists, like if you want to look up things on, let's just say Cuba
mhm,
and Fidel Castro, El Mariel boat lift,
mhm,
you'll see a lot of that on
yeah,
YouTube, but you don't
yeah,
see anything in Nicaragua that's modern. And
yeah,
so I encourage you to think about that. But also, if I'm always down to collaborate on that because
yeah,
Nicaragua has a lot of beautiful
yeah,
things to be appreciative that the world needs to see.
yeah,
La cultura, the food. Just like you can look up any of the countries I just mentioned on YouTube, and you're going to see well done videos,
mhm,
well written videos. And right now, you just see the typical outsider going to Nicaragua on the surf town or going to Granada,
right,
pero nada con like substance,
right,
de la cultura, not, and certainly not Nicaraguenses,
right.
right? Like us, like say you and I, we did something like that, it'd be Spanish and English. You'd be talking Nicaragua from your point of view. I could, I specialize in food. We could talk about the culinary, go in the back,
Mhm,
like La Boquita, how, like, I don't know if you've ever been La Boquita. La Boquita is like that beach town. Anyways, Huevo
right.
Tortuga is my favorite shit. And they have this restaurant, I can't
Oh,
name
yeah,
it because it might be prohibido. But anyways, I
yeah.
went back there and man, todo de leña. Nothing was electric. They literally have to put wood, charcoal to get. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is if Bourdain went, have you seen the Bourdain one in Nicaragua?
No, he went?
Oh my God, you have to go. He calls out Daniel. He calls out,
Wow.
the death of the periodista Chamorro. You have to watch it because, you know, we can do something like that. Two
Right.
7 9 minute short clips, and we have access. Like I have family down there, you have family down there. My grandfather, que era chino, comenzó el chop suey, which is Chinese Nicaraguan food, in Rivas, 60 years old. My aunts and my cousins still own it and run it.
Yeah.
We came here. So, anyways, I challenge you to do that, because express your journalism, because you're passionate about those social injustice issues. You're
Yeah.
a writer. I'm not a writer, so that's why we need to put a dream team together. So now we talk about 2 years you want to do that. I think you're talented. You're not too late, the joven, and you look good. Because I've had a couple midgets on the show, and it's really hard to. It's a joke. I don't have midgets on
Okay.
the show. All right, let's talk about this. What are the challenges that you see that you are preparing in this new normal anticipation?
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
You want to be. You're basically a digital content creator profile. Have you thought about taking brands to sponsor you? Have you thought about being spokespersons? I've had people on the show that basically were a viral sensation. Now they have agents representing them,
Yeah.
and brands are reaching out. So earlier I had today Omi, which is one of the dopest kind of internet sensations. She's in that verge of getting an agent to represent all the brands calling her. Where last week I had a Salvadorian guy que no se mira salvadoreño, and that guy already has an agency. So you're in that realm. That's why
Right.
you're gonna love Comidazo and Como. So what challenges do you see coming what do you anticipate in the new normal?
Well, hopefully, well, I'm already working with brands. I'm working with several brands, especially for my TikTok. I feel like that's my biggest platform. That's the biggest community I have. And I've made a lot of sponsored videos. And the first one I ever did was like huge for me because it was for an actual like reality TV show, and it was promoting that on WeTV. So I was blown away with that. And since then, I work, with Sony and with smaller businesses to promote new things coming up. And now I'm focusing on working not only on my platform but also creating content for businesses, because sometimes they just like my style, and they want to use it for their own ads.
And they
So that
and they reach out to you.
yeah.
For our viewers, I want them to know, keep on posting, because how important do you rate putting in, social media and Instagram? How important is social media to someone's
I
brand
feel
today?
like it's the most important, and specifically TikTok. TikTok's growth is so crazy. In 1 year, I have more than 170,000 followers on that, and it's like I feel like Instagram is very more like slow to grow, but TikTok just has that virality effect, and you can blow up in like overnight. And then you have that platform, and it's up to you to keep it growing and keep your numbers up, but it gives you that opportunity.
Yeah, there are thousands on TikTok, but there are hundreds getting paid for it. And that's what I love, that you're being able to shed that light. You
Right.
gave some tips earlier. Talk to me a little bit about your clothing line, right? A little passion
Yeah.
project. And I
Yeah.
had seen your shirt on somebody else, and then I was doing research for this interview. And I
Yeah.
said, wow, that's her, the Chavala
Yeah.
shirt. That's
Yeah.
dope. So tell me about that, and how's it going?
Yeah. Well, I started that in 2018, and I actually started it with a Nicaraguan necklace. So I have a gold Nicaraguan necklace, and
To this
um,
day, you still have that necklace on there?
I still have it. Yeah.
Oh,
It's like,
send me the link. I want to buy one.
oh, awesome. I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
So we have that, and I send a percentage of the profits goes to ANF, the American Nicaraguan Foundation. And that started in 2018, with all the riots and all the protests. And I was like, oh my God, I got to do something. I need a help. So I created that necklace and reached out to ANF, and they've been, providing food to children during this whole Corona time. And with the government, they've been having trouble getting medicine, so now they can buy medicine and get it to people over there. So that's how it started, and then I expanded because so many people were like, oh my God, I love like Nicaragua gear, things like that. So that's when I started to make the Chavala shirt. And since then I've made like a couple of the other products, and I also have like just outfits, like fashion things, and cute outfits and things like that. But my most popular things are like Latina focused and Nicaragua focused gear, t-shirts, necklaces, jewelry.
Well, I like it. I watched it. I looked at it. It's you can tell it's you. It's fashion forward because sometimes Nicaraguan gear out there, I see it's kind of corny. Like I'm not gonna wear that.
Yeah.
So you know,
Yeah.
and I like that. I actually did a fun. I wish I would have met you before. I did a fundraiser, a virtual fundraiser, where we
Mhm.
just highlighted Nicaraguenses across the country on Zoom. We raised money. We helped
Awesome.
200 families down there with hygiene packages and food packages. I'll forward you some stuff. I want you to look at it because we can do some future collabs on
Yeah.
that. And have you heard of Somos Nicaragua?
I feel like I've seen it.
Yeah, I'm gonna connect you. They raise basically donated baseball equipment. They send it out there so it helps the kids. Because if you think about Nicaragua, that we have coffee, we have to have baseball, we have to have, more sports because
Yeah.
that's how you get more exposure and more content for you. So I
Yeah.
love that. So I want to get our viewers to support your gear. Let's
Yeah.
have some fun facts, all right?
Okay.
Um, in the industry, what's your pet peeve? And in Spanish, it's translated as "qué te molesta?" En la industria.
In the social media industry?
You got it. That's your in.
I don't know. Let me see. Uh, I don't know. I feel like when it's just frustrating when people are very I don't know, they put like throwaway content out there. It's just like, oh, whatever. And then it blows up. I'm like, oh my God, I'm putting so much work, but that's just their type of content. Or when people are just mean or like it goes to their head,
Yeah.
Um, that would be like my pet peeve. And also that's just a pet peeve in the media since I've worked with talents and other people when I was in journalism. Some people they let it get to their heads and they just act like really
Yeah.
really bad.
Hey, listen, you're gonna have to create that term, repopularize that term. No seas caballo.
Mhm.
I forget where you're from. I actually, before I go to the next question, I want to commend you because I see your social and I see you, and I see one foot in, one foot out, and the other foot in is this socially woke, Latina. So
Mhm.
you've got to work on some of that stuff
Yeah.
because you're a multi threat. Okay.
Yeah.
The next question is your pet peeve in society. Forget
Mhm.
the industry, en la sociedad. ¿Qué te molesta?
Oof. I feel like this year it really made me realize how some people in the US like are very selfish and are very like, okay, I don't want to wear a mask because I don't care. But what about your neighbor? What about that person over there who has a disease? Um, that has really like, wow, my mom is a healthcare worker, and one of her pet peeves is when patients come in and they don't want to wear a mask. And it's like, that's the bare minimum. We're in the middle of a pandemic. So things like that has been, my pet peeve so far this
So
year.
that one deserves no seas chancho.
Yeah.
Uh, so before I go into my next two questions and we end it, what's your favorite Nicaraguan dish?
Mm, oh my God, there's so many. I feel like I've been having a craving for nacatamal for like the past year. um, but I love, gallo pinto, carne asada, tajadas. I love quesillos. Oh
Mm,
my God, I
yeah,
love
we don't get those in California. You know that? That's why
really
cuando estoy en Miami, I go to Miami monthly. Cuando estoy en Miami, me aprovecho la moronga, el quesillo.
quesillos
You
the
just
best.
don't get that here. You get the typical stuff. Okay, that's good. So if what's the best part about being Nicaraguan?
I feel like the
Mhm.
culture, the music, and when I listen to like typical music that you listen, back home, it kind of brings you back, and the food. Of course, the food. I grew up with my mom's cooking, todo era nicaragüense. My tias, they would make really good food. That's why as a kid I was super chubby because I would love the food, and I was chubby, from my mom's cooking, from my aunt's cooking, not from like candies or anything. Because if you gave me like gallo pinto con pollo asado and tajas, I would eat the whole plate and maybe even some more. So just the food.
Yeah, and I think okay. So my next one, and then two more. But your favorite, if you un extranjero a Nicaragua o un
Hmm.
nicaragüense de acá que nunca ha ido a Nicaragua,
Hmm.
what is the one thing? What town? What would they do? What would they do in what town? What's the one thing they have to do? So if you're going to be a tourist attraction, that the first thing you do in Nicaragua that you would recommend alguien que lo haga.
Oh my God, I don't know.
And
There's so many
I'll
things
tell you mine because you're making me all orgulloso Nica right now.
There's so many things, but I feel like Granada is beautiful. Taking the tour on the carriage with the horses, I feel like that's something you have to do. That would be like the number one thing. But I don't know, there's so many things, and there's so many things I still have to do. I really want to go to the other coast of Nicaragua and just explore that whole area because I
Yeah.
feel like it's such a different than the other coast. So I feel like there's many things. I can't list just one.
Yeah, no doubt. Bluefields y La Costa Atlanta is beautiful. Like I've never been there and I want to go. My mom and dad said it's beautiful. And my one thing is Vigorón en Granada en el Parque Central. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing better than to be there con un tamarindo y chía, having your vigorón mixto con la mano. You know, something
Yeah.
about that.
And getting a quesillo after the airport. Well, my family, we always get a quesillo after the airport on the way to Chinandega. So like that's the number one thing I always do.
We always love overpaying for that quesillo right there in that airport, right?
Yeah.
All right. So the world is ending. No Nicaraguan food. No comida Nicaraguan. Sound like a white man. What would be your last meal on earth? Non-Nicaraguan food.
Hmm, probably some type of pasta. I love pasta. I love Alfredo pasta. That would probably be it. Like some fried chicken with Alfredo pasta, like
Mhm.
fried chicken breast and Alfredo pasta.
I love it. All right. La última pregunta. Three people dead or alive. Who would you love to have dinner with?
Oh my God. The first person that comes to mind is my grandfather.
Mm.
So he passed away when I was like 8 or 9. And I feel like, since my mom was a single mom, I always called him like my dad. And I feel like it would be so cool to see him where I am today and
Yes.
talk to him then. Because I feel like one of the huge reasons why I love Nicaragua so much is because I would visit him and be with him. So that would be one person. You said 3 people?
Mhm.
Um, oh my God, probably my grandma too. But my grandma passed away when I was like 5, unfortunately, but my mom says that I'm just like her. So
Mm.
that she was a seamstress and she would make dresses. And I think that's where my love for fashion comes too. Um, and the third person, who would have dead or alive? Alive, probably Beyonce or someone.
Hey, that's dope. Let me tell you, that's awesome. Can I just say that the majority of stuff, you see the the Latin housewives or housewives that you do, the parody,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and then I see you here, and it's so awesome. You're super talented, tenés la comedia, but you have that humility about you
Thank
that
you.
you just don't see in today's society. And I want to tell you, it's been an honor to have you there. And I want to keep up with you every 90 days and to see your progress,
Awesome.
to see how you're going to do with elevating Nicaraguenses being as cool as Cubans and Dominicans on social media.
Yeah.
And definitely one day a cool 9-minute short film doc that you write that we work on because I can get it to people at Sundance, I can get it to people to the U.S. Latino Film Festival,
Awesome.
because it's not just about Nicaragua. It's about the
Mhm.
social injustice that needs to be told.
Yeah.
It's about how the resilience de nuestra gente in
Mhm.
Nicaragua
Yeah.
survive. What do they call it? In Nicaragua, todo se resuelve, right? They say that. And so I challenge you on that because you are talented.
Thank
And
you.
you know what they say, the worst thing you can do is wasted talent. So,
Yep.
Vanessa, un placer.
Thank you. Likewise.
That's it. Keep it up, all right?
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And listen to the song.
Yes.